today's line of communication is completely different. And if you want to be relevant today, you have to have a voice. You saw who's the president today. He's a president today because he understands Twitter better than anybody else. He understands Twitter. He understands Twitter better than anyone in the world. And he knows how to play with everybody. The president prior to him, he understands Twitter better than anyone except for Trump. He also understands social media. Ron Paul was the first guy to raise $6 million in 24 hours on MySpace. Ron Paul, who is 83 years old right now. He ran as a libertarian. He didn't run as a libertarian. He ran as a Republican. He raised $6 million on MySpace, I think in 04 or 06, some number like that. It's the most ever raised on the internet. This was a 70-year-old man raising $6 million on the internet. So the moment you start seeing those kinds of things, you realize, I got to go in that direction. And
catching
we did.
On those trends.
And then you decide where you belong within it. Today's, my car, I left it here because last time when we went to Austin, I left the rolls here. So this morning I get up to go and get the rolls. I'm, where's the car? It's not here. I'm, oh, I got to get it. So I call Uber. Uber picks me up. Lady is picking me up. We start talking. Where are you from? Well, I'm from Sunshine. Okay, great. So what do you do? Oh, I also have a YouTube channel on the site. She's telling me, tell me your YouTube channel. So I went and looked up her YouTube channel. And we're speaking. She says, don't look at it. Don't look at it. I don't want you. Matter of fact, I'm going to give her love here on the video. She's got 2 subscribers, okay? She said, I created an alias name. Her name is Daisy Habibi. Go give her a hard time, right? Say, Patrick talked about you on a podcast or an interview, okay? She's got 2 subscribers today, and it's a makeup channel, right? I'm not going to go on a makeup channel for myself. You're probably not going to go on it either.
Not publicly.
Not publicly, privately, right? But I look at this, and she says, oh, please, don't look at it. It's embarrassing. I said, why not? But the videos are not good yet. I said, don't worry about it. I said, right now you're testing. You are not going to know for a year or 2 years on where you want to be. You're probably going to know 2 years. Look at social media and your brand like this. The first girl you ever kissed, you don't marry her. That's called puppy love. You come home and you tell your mom that's going to be your wife. 6 months later, she kisses your friend. And then it changes. Then you have your first heartbreak and puppy love simultaneously. Then you have a steady girlfriend for 2 or 3 years. Then you learn how sex works. Then you learn maybe another girl. Then you finally realize what you didn't like about the first one, what you screwed up, what she screwed up, and what you didn't like about the second one or the third one. Then you have an idea who you want to be with long term. Then you choose, do I even want to get married or not? Maybe I don't even want to get married. But you know if you want kids, you know if you want to be married, you know what. So then you decided to get married at 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
Take that and compress it to 2-3 years. That's social media. You can be on social media. You don't know yet who you're going to be, but you will 2 to 3 years. So you don't want to speed it up too much to put yourself in a box because you may screw up your next move. You almost got to dance with social media until yourself and your audience says, Travis, I like it when you talk about pa. Perfect. Interesting. I keep hearing this from 7 people. Let's dig deep and see what this is all about. And it'll give you a lot of clues to what you should do next.
So the most important thing would be to take action, to do something.
Start something. Start something. The world wants to know what you're thinking about. Start something. Start something and see where it takes you. And then from there, you got 2 brands today, your business and yourself. You have to make sure you're developing both today. Elon Musk wasn't at first. Now he understands Twitter. Okay, he got in trouble with Twitter a little bit when he got up and he said he's taking the company private, now he's being sued. But he also learned a little bit how to mess with Twitter. Years ago, Steve Jobs understood media. He would call Playboy and he would say, people who like Apple probably also like Playboy because it's edgy. He didn't call New York Times and said, write an article on me. He called the editor-in-chief of Playboy and said, come and interview me. He called him. He understood marketing. Once you understand marketing and storytelling, things change.
And attention, grabbing attention.
Yes, relevance. You staying relevant for a while. It's a hard thing to do. There are only 2 artists in the history of America that have had a #1 hit in 4 different decades. Let me say this one more time. Only 2 names of people. You're from Austin. Do you know who the 2 are? Only 2 artists that have had a #1 hit on the billboards 4 different decades. Do you know who the 2 names are? Do you know who the 2 names are? You have any clue or no? Ready? Ray Charles and Sting. 4 decades.
Wow.
They were relevant for 4 decades. That's insanity. You know Sting, you know Ray Charles. 4 decades. It's not an easy thing to do. You get a guy that does 1 hit, is famous for 2 years, and they're done. 4 decades. That's legit.
That's incredible.
And in the business world, it's the same thing. How long can you stay relevant?
And how do you do that?
You have to constantly recreate yourself.
Pivoting.
So you have to recreate you. So you have to recreate you. If you don't, you become stale. Like, look at Will Smith. So there was this idea at one point, it's like, oh, only, celebrities don't vlog.
Right.
Only people that want to be celebrities vlog.
Right.
So a lot of names didn't want to do vlogging. So what happened? Nobody's doing it. And then all of a sudden, Will Smith is sitting there saying, man, people don't talk about me as much as they're talking about all these other guys.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see Logan Paul is more famous than me today.
I was going to say, like Jake Paul.
Oh
Logan
my
Paul.
gosh,
Right, yeah.
what is wrong? I'll kill it on Instagram and vlog.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill all these guys because I'm the original Logan Paul.
Right.
But when you look at Will Smith, who is cooler than Will Smith?
Right.
So Will Smith goes on the Instagram game. What happens? Boom! He blows up. The whole Kiki challenge, right?
Yeah.
He does the Kiki challenge on top of he walks up. I don't know if you saw. I mean, that's legit stuff, right?
Right.
So then you see, I'm with Kevin Hart. I said, Kevin, why YouTube? It's just the direction it's going to. He's a comedian, only guy in the history of comedy that filled up a football stadium.
Yeah.
Football stadium.
Crazy.
He's on social media with a YouTube channel. Dwayne Johnson, highest paid actor last year, $124 million. Why does he have a YouTube channel? It's no longer about just the people that want to be celebrities go on YouTube. Celebrities are starting to realize,
Right.
to stay relevant, I have to recreate myself. The entire game of relevance is to be able to constantly recreate yourself, because people eventually get bored with you.
Yeah. Do you think it's a pride thing for a lot of people? They're just like, well, I do movies. I'm not going to do this as well. That's dumb, or that's below me.
Yeah, sometimes maybe, but I also think,
and not just to that specific situation, just in general, being willing to recreate yourself you would have to be able to say, I don't know this area as much as I thought I needed to. I need to learn more about this.
Yeah, I mean, look, success lies. People running up to you and tell you how amazing you are lies. I'll give it to you in a whole different way. Women are beautiful in their 20s, in their 30s. There's a lot of beautiful women in their 40s, 50s, 60s. Like Sophia Loren was beautiful till the very end, or Elizabeth Taylor, or J-Lo still is gorgeous at her age. My wife and I were looking at her Instagram account. We're like, look, what does she even look like? I mean, it's amazing. She looks like she's still 18. Power to her, more power to her for understanding how much her body mattered. But a lot of times people think just because you were hot in your 20s, you're going to be hot in your 40s and you don't need to take care of yourself. Right. It's very similar to people in business. Just because you became a millionaire and you were famous, you think at 45 you're still relevant. You're no longer a 22-year-old millionaire.
Right.
Now you're a 45-year-old millionaire. No one cares if you're a 45-year. No one cares if you're a 45-year billionaire. You better do something completely different for you to keep the relevancy, right? So, things are very different when you want to stay relevant for that long of a time. You have to constantly recreate yourself. Trump went from being a business guy. He was in the shadow of his father. It's number one. Oh, he is Fred Trump's son.
Yeah.
Then he went into being a real estate guy because he went away from the market that his dad was in. He went into his own market in Manhattan. His dad wanted Jersey. He went to Manhattan. So he made a name for himself in Manhattan, which is where he wanted to be. Then he goes on Oprah Winfrey show. Then he has Apprentice. He recreates. Then he becomes a politician. What? Right. 4 decades of recreating himself.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or not, got to give credit. He's still relevant.
Yeah. Would you say he's probably one of the most, if not the most persuasive person in the world?
Hands down.